Hey, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Dwayne. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. It could be any topic like this: review, movie review, re-review, thoughts, streams, commentaries, reactions, tier list rankings, whatever the case may be. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent, thank you. Really do appreciate it. So the way he worded it was, could you please talk about the upcoming Running Man remake? Your thoughts on it? Now, granted, I could say it's fucking bullshit. Fuck this movie. Kiss my ass. Suck my dick. Kiss my grits, baby. And end the video there, but then it'd only be a minute long, so fair. Maybe I do it this way and go through what we know so far, which is from, I think, December. But yes, they are remaking The Running Man. Now, the original Running Man is a favorite of mine. I love The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it's a classic. The one-liners. Hey, Christmas tree, follow me, light bulb. How about the light? Here's Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. I live to see you eat the contract, but you blew. God, I can't fucking say. I'm so pissed at this. I live to see you eat that contract, but I hope you leave some room for my fist, because we're gonna jam it to your stomach and break your goddamn spine. I think the villains were colorful personalities based on the popularity of WWF and at the time. You also, American Gladiators, you had all that stuff. It was a very fun movie. Richard Dawson was great as the villain. Perfect, because he was a game show host. So, as an evil game show host, couldn't be better. Arnold at the top of his game. But they are remaking it. Now, this is talking about the news of Coleman Domingo joins the cast as the villain, the game show host. As Euphoria star, listen, if you're on the TV show Euphoria, I can't give much of a fuck. I can't give much of a fuck about whoever the hell's Euphoria, because I think that's, in my opinion, a dog shit show. Now, apparently it's going to come out in November 2025. Now, unless it gets pushed or something. I mean, it's very early. I mean, that's still quite a ways away. Well, that's what, 10 months away? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Oh. Well, we're at the beginning of November. We're at the beginning of February, so still. I'm trying to think like where we would get a trailer. Maybe the summer? Head to head with the blockbuster Wicked for Good. That's sad that... Oh, it's going to be November 21st, but it's been rescheduled to November 7th, a date that will allow it to flourish financially without stiff competition. That's sad that I have to root for fucking Wicked to beat something, but I get what people may say. Well, it's an adaptation of the novel, so what's the big deal? It's just like when you had The Shining, they did the made-for-TV movie that's more like the novel, among other stuff. And I get it. You always have the original film, so what difference does it make? Edgar Wright is directing this, which is weird that this is a guy known for making more original movies. And instead you're going to have a remake? More than likely because he had films that did not do well. Last Night in Soho did not do well. I think the last hit he had was maybe Baby Driver. But you're only as popular as your last hit. And again, his last movie was a flop. So, okay, we're going to do a film that people don't recognize. But here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of people like me who are fans of the film. I don't give a shit about the story. Okay, I honestly don't give a fuck about the original story of The Running Man. I don't. With this depressing ending where it gets in a plane and rams it right into a fucking... the tower, which... Considering nowadays how many fucking plane crashes we've had, I don't know if you have an ending like that, it's going to work out today. I'm just saying. We've had like, what, 2 weird plane crashes things in a matter of days? Don't know if that's going to work out. Unless you don't have a different ending. Whereas then people will be... I guess people should be mad at this then, if that's the case, because not like the book. Or the story, whatever the fuck. I know people don't say, well, The Running Man's not a classic, so who gives a shit? I give a shit because I do think it's a fucking classic. I think it's one of Arnold's best movies. I think it's a very fun movie. I think it's a hell of an entertaining film that's not going to be beat. You're not going to have the great story by Harold Faltermeyer. You're not going to have a badass like Arnold, at least at the time before the Screw Your Freedom days. The fun-filled, personality-ridden villains. Just I think of other remakes of Arnold films, like Total Recall. Remember that remake? By, was it Len Wiseman? So it's a very fun movie that people like me do consider a classic. I don't think it needs a remake. Okay, you don't want to make an adaptation of the story. Again, this is the same stuff I would hear with Total Recall. Look how that turned out. Now, I'm sure people go, well, I'm sure it'll be better because of the director is Edgar Wright. He's done good stuff. Shaun the Dead I liked. Hot Fuzz I liked. Baby Driver I liked. But I did not like, this is the, not the World's End I did not like. I didn't like Late Night in Soho. I know people liked it. I did not care for that film. I'm sorry, but I didn't. So, again, the last film I liked with Edgar Wright doing was Baby Driver. And Glenn Powell does not really move my meter. Now, Glenn Powell, I didn't mind him in Twisters. I wasn't really a big fan of that movie, but Glenn Powell was fine. But now he's trying to be like the next big thing, and I don't know if he's all that in a box of chips, as one would put it. I don't think he's going to be much in comparison to Arnold, who's such a big personality in that. Yeah, I just don't know about Glenn Powell, man. The First Name Attached, Glenn Powell. Yeah, I just... When I heard... I mean, I didn't like the idea of a Running Man remake anyway. But then Glenn Powell is like, really? Him? I mean, I guess I'm thankful it's not fucking Bill Skarsgård, but it's like, really? Glenn Powell? Doesn't really do anything for me. Doesn't stir any emotions out of me. Like a limp-dick dog. All-American star Daniel Ezra. Don't know who he is. Civil War's Carl Glusman has been cast. Don't know who the fuck he is. I didn't see Civil War. Josh Brolin was playing a villain named Dan Killian. He would play the ruthless producer of the game show and not the host character played by Richard Dawson. Although he's called Killian. But whatever. And that doesn't matter because Bryan Cranston was the villain in the Total Recall remake. A.K.A. Lens Flares the movie. Did that fucking matter? No. Because that film was dog shit. I just think of recent history. Total Recall remake with Arnold. I mean, of Arnold's film. but it could be based more on the original story, and it's just an adaptation of the story. So, and then what? All they did was like take some scenes that just ripped off the movie and make it bland and generic. It just doesn't interest me. Michael Cera will play a rebel named Bradley. Lee Pace as one of the Daily Hunters. Jamie Law. None of these names mean jack shit to me. Like Josh Brolin, I like. But I didn't. Just like Bryan Cranston, I liked, but didn't fucking save Total Recall remake. But yeah, this cast just doesn't do anything for me. I like this recent Stephen King movies. I forgot there was a Firestarter movie. 11% Rotten Tomatoes. Mr. Harrigan's Phone, really? 45%. The Boogeyman, 61%. The Life of Chuck. Sam's Lot. There's some stuff I didn't mind. There's some stuff I didn't like. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. Pretty much it talks about desperate man named Richards competing in the Daily Game Show to win money to support his family. The most important aspect of teen story by satire of 1980s culture. Yeah, there's not really any info on it other than that. For what the novel, which was under Richard Bachman, Stephen King's pseudonym, try to remember the details. It's about a guy. You have this game show, The Running Man. He wants money for his family. So he gets into the game to get enough money for his family. And I think the deal is, like, unlike the movie, you're going cross country into these zones, and then you're hunted. Like the most dangerous game. And if you... I can't remember if you either survive the 30 days, or if you get to the point where you need to go, then you win the money. Long story short, you find out that so there's some fucked up screwy things going on, of course. His family's been murdered. He has nothing left to live for, so he takes a fucking plane and jams it right into the tower where the game show hosts are. And in order to take them down, because he has nothing to live for. Now, is Edgar Wright going to do that? I mean, this, baby, I won't give a shit, because I probably might not give a shit about the characters. So it's like, sure, go for it. And that's going to be the question. Okay, if you're going with the book, the novel, then yes, it's going to be very different, unique, and it won't feel like the movie, so maybe it'd be easy to separate it. Other than the title, then, well, how come it's not? Well, because this is what the novel's plot was. So if it's going across the country, if it's going from all these zones, if it's like the 30 days or whatever, that stuff, then okay. It'll be unique. Not unique. It'll be its own movie. Again, it'll have very little to do with the original. So it's just easier to separate. Leave it alone. If you're not into it, you're not into it. Like I'm just not interested in it. But will it be one of those things where, well, we got to reference something, so we'll reference this thing, and we'll reference this thing, and we'll reference this thing. Only time will tell on that front. If they decide not to follow the novel and they just kind of redo the movie for that, then that will be even more infuriating. It's like, it really will be, then why the fuck are you doing it? So again, a lot of times when I do these things, I have to talk it out in my head and to you guys to form my opinion better, just how my brain works. If the trailer comes out and it's like, okay, they're really going with the novel, it's very, very different. It already says here that Ben Richards has a wife. That wasn't the case in the movie, but that was the case in the book. And they're sticking through that. And if they try to do that ending, the idea will be such a different thing. It'll be its own entity. Although, I don't know, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't give a fuck about Running Man remake. I don't give a fuck about adaptation of that story. I don't. I'll stick with the Running Man. I got it right here. I'll just stick with this. I got it at home. I'll stick with this. I don't need to give a fuck about this. I really don't. Just what? It's going to come out and then people are going to say, yeah, it's so much better because it's more serious, or it's more gritty, it's more darker, or it's... So automatically that means it's better. Fuck the original, it's campy, it's silly. I'm just imagining people like reading and shitting on the original, because that does happen from time to time when a remake comes out. Oh, the original is so campy, it's so silly, so stupid, oh, it's so 80s. It's like, okay, if you feel that way, teach their own. Or, fuck you. Because some of us like it. But yeah, Edgar Wright, I would prefer him doing more original things. Yeah, I may not like Last Night in Soho, but I would still be willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I didn't like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World either. So I don't love all the things he's done, but I'd still be more willing to give him a chance compared to other directors. Shaun the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver. You know, he's done stuff I like. And Glenn Powell doesn't interest me. The idea doesn't interest me. The rest of the cast doesn't interest me. Again, I think about other remakes of 80s films or Arnold films, and a lot of them haven't been that great. A lot of them have not been that wonderful. Let me click on this, see what this says. Because there's an interview, I like to read what he says. In terms of things that have been like The Running Man, which is something that is in active development, I like the film, but I like the book more, and they didn't really adapt the book. Even as a teen, when I saw Arnold, I was like, oh, this isn't like the book at all. I think nobody's done that book. So when that came up, I was thinking, do you have any interest in The Running Man? I said, you know what? I've often thought that that book is something crying out to be adapted. That doesn't mean that it's easy, but it's something that we're working on. Yes, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Ben willingly participate running across America so he can win and earn money for his family. And the novel is very much bleaker. It'll be a darker movie, much more isolating movie. So the way he puts it is going to be much different, which is just less interesting because I didn't give a shit about the story of the book. If you did, then you have something to look forward to. And it won't be a carbon copy if that's the case. And you can have yours, and I'll have mine, and we can have each other's. You have yours, we got ours, you know. You have your own. Be my guest. But yeah, I don't give a flying fuck about this. What are you talking about? Because there's a paid request, and trying to give Dwayne Hicks, that's his username, all that he can. So that's what I think about the remake. If you love the story and you look forward to the movie, good on you. Not for me. I would only see if it was a paid request. Well, you haven't seen the trailer yet. Like I said, I know what the story is and it doesn't interest me. Glenn Powell as a star doesn't interest me that much. Just doesn't. I'll go rewatch the old one. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.